This next movie tied the last one with an 8% audience score, but the critic score did come in higher with 13%. This movie got one review that said, the filming is missing so much and it's just not right. Lacks the ability to develop itself or pay off in the end. This one came in with 15 points, was also voted on by two people, the same exact two people. It is the 2018 mystery thriller, The Open House.
First of all, Thriller, it was not. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, God, this movie was so bad. Man, I think Max and I watched it together.
We sure did. This movie committed the great sin of being boring. And then two, like Hunter said with another movie, the people in this movie do not behave as normal humans. And also, I thought maybe, somebody was deaf in this movie because nobody heard the villain.
No
the villain
way. This MFer had heavy boots.
Yeah.
6'5", 350.
The linebacker.
Yeah.
And he's sneaking up behind people. I had no clue anyone was in the house. Like, how is that possible?
At one point, he's laying down in the mom's bed. He lays down. She doesn't notice it. You instantly notice the weight distribution is off.
And I'm gonna be honest, that son, when he was getting a little racist when his mom was getting friendly with the guy who was trying to help them out. And then that guy, and then of course that's the guy that dies, the guy that was helping him. But no, okay, he has to go.
Yeah, the whole time I watching, like, kid, you're being a little too aggressive here.
I understand his dad died. He's not ready for his mom to find another man. But
the premise is so stupid.
It's so dumb. It's brilliant. No. It's just dumb.
But yeah, the premise is a guy sneaks into an open house and then kills the people, but he doesn't do it right away. Like, he's hiding for days and days in here.
He keeps turning off the pilot light for the water heater. And another thing, the police do a full scan of the property and don't find this man. Where was he hiding?
Yeah, exactly. Like, this movie is just like, it just has stuff that just blatantly slaps you in the face and just takes you right out of it being some sort of a realistic movie.
It's a movie where if you're going to have it done right and you want to actually be a good thriller, it needs to be realistic, and it just introduced too many unrealistic elements and it takes you completely out of it. Like, a good one that I liked was, Hush with the deaf girl?
Mm-hmm.
I liked that one.
And again, like both the mother and son die. I'm like, whatever. It's just so convoluted the way he did. Like, he sprayed the guy with the hose, gave him cold, and made him run. I was like, first of all, I know you're fat. This guy ain't catching up to him that quick.
And also because the kid was like a runner, remember?
I know he took the contacts out. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not buying you catching up to him, even with him being freezing cold.
And this one also tried to set up a sequel because at the end he's on his way to another open house.
Yeah. With a movie like this, I kind of want to know the killer's motivation. You know nothing about the killer's.
There's no payoff. There's no payoff whatsoever.
Yeah, like Jacob said, this could have been done right if they gave it a lot more thought. You could have made this could have been harking back to maybe some of the 80s horror movies, like the Slumber Party Massacres. Could have been like that sort of genre. I
mean, could have done slightly like The Stranger, where the guy's in the house, but they don't.
Right.
That would be pretty cool. And then, in the beginning of the movie, you rewatch it and you can see subtle signs that he was there. That'd be nice.
Yeah, you see him pop in the corner, you can see him in the dark corner over there while the mom's trying to fix the pilot light or something. Something.
Nice. Yeah.
The Strangers did it so well. They're in the house, but they did it in a way that person couldn't tell.
And a lot of this movie is just the main character Logan just walking around the house and staring. That's a lot of the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's super boring. Nothing about this movie is interesting. You would think it would pick up the pace, but it just never gets there until the end where you get some kills. But even the kills aren't interesting.
I believe after we watched this, we both that was the movie. And I think we both instantly had to check to make sure no one else liked this movie, because I just don't see how you could.
At the very least, the main actor in this movie was in a much better horror movie in Don't Breathe. At least he has at least his resume.
Oh, yeah, he was in Don't Breathe. Yeah, that was a good movie.
Right. This next movie got a lot better Rotten Tomato score, but I want to say something a critic says. This series takes a depressing nosedive into 0 degree filmmaking. It's pretty critical.
That's that's pretty harsh.
Yep. This movie had a 30% tomato meter score, 31% audience score. This other critic gave it a positive review and said a genre film that won't totally insult your intelligence or your eyes. And when you all hear what this movie is, you're probably going to be surprised. This is a movie that I've never watched, but I've heard about for many years from these guys about how bad it was. It was voted on by everybody but Vitamin J. This movie came in fourth place with a whopping 19 points. It comes from, I think the reason he didn't vote for it is because he really loves this character and this franchise. It is Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child.
Bro, I don't even think.
Jacob, come on.
I think there are worse Fred Nightmare movies. Have y'all seen
There-
6 or
no.
7?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know, man. I think 6 pretty bad. I think it's just. I think y'all just really don't like that cringy kid.
I'm gonna take it to school, Freddy.
God,
It's
so
so
awful.
bad.
They should
It's so
just let that kid curse, man.
That's so bad.
I can't remember what the original line was. Probably like "F you, Freddy" or something like that.
Yeah, it was
I'm like,
"F you,
that would've
Freddy"
been-
was the
that would've
original
been
line.
That would've been fine.
You don't even get any good lines from Freddy in this one. I couldn't remember one thing he said. At this point, he's supposed to be the punchline man. I couldn't remember a single one.
I can't.
Yeah.
I couldn't put my boy Freddy on this list. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, that's bias. I
It's
put
not
my
biased. I
Station on mine.
truly dislike these movies in my top 10 more.
Dude, there's no way.
Bro,
Conjuring 3 is worse than
you
Freddy
heard-
5. There's no way.
If you heard my top 10, it's a solid top 10.
Also, Michael Che is also the director for that, so that might have
Oh,
influenced it.
if I told you Michael Chase directed Nightmare 5, would you put it on your list?
I just remember right after you guys watched this movie in high school, and I remember you all came in. I was in the other room playing video games. You all came in complaining about how bad and devil awful it was.
It just started being like making no sense at the end. We didn't know what the hell was going on at the end.
They just kept changing stuff.
Yeah, they took a good concept and just like went a direction nobody wanted to go with, this like Freddy child and all that sort of stuff. It certainly lived in infamy in our friend
Movies
circle.
like that, and then some of the ones that came after. There's a reason why they haven't tried to bring it back Nightmare. But I think they should. Not CGI though.
It made a Nightmare movie not fun. They're supposed to be at the very least fun.
And, and Freddy's known for very memorable kills. There's not very many in this movie. And then wasn't this one at the end like Freddy's one liner when he dies is like kids.
Yeah.
We're gonna go into our next movie. This was voted on across the board, coming in at 20 points. Everybody voted for it. This movie had a 6% tomato meter score, a 22% audience score. One of the critics of this movie did say this movie is more boring than thrilling, a series of horror gimmicks that has been used in much better films. This is the 2012 movie, The Devil Inside.
Bro, the devil.
You cannot end a movie by telling people to go to a website.
The website doesn't work anymore, so you'll never know the ending.
I think it's on YouTube. I think.
It's probably on YouTube. Just the fact that you had the audacity, like, oh yeah, that's how we're gonna hook people.
But the whole advertising for this movie hinged on that one scene with the woman and the when she carved her lip.
Yeah. I rate it extremely highly, mostly for the gimmick, but also because the story wasn't nearly engaging enough to justify it.
Guys, it made a lot of money at the Blockbuster.
How much did it make?
Well, because it was because
101 million. 101
Oh, the
million.
marketing for this movie.
yeah, I thought the trailers for it were pretty good.
And there's so many cliches in it. You know, it's just every Exorcist movie follows the same beats.
The only good thing that happened from this movie was that it was parodied in Haunted House.
Remember, like most of the marketing was around that one nun with like the eyes and stuff, and then she's like in it for like all of like a second.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's the box art for it.
Yeah, it's like the
Is
box
there-
art.
Yeah,
and, like,
it's
and
like,
then
if you look at the poster,
that
it's
one's
the
barely-
one like showing her lip.
she's like barely in it.
These kind of movies hinge on their endings, so that is going to make it good or bad because that that changes to how you look at the whole film. So to do that, to tell people to find out how this ends, go to this website. I would have damn near asked for my money back. This is not a finished product.
And there's nothing. There's no good moments in that movie.
And the cuts.
It's not like it's particularly short. I think it's like 90 minutes, so it's like standard horror movie length. So, and then it tells you after you watch pretty like 90 minutes of a movie, you gotta go to the website.
Yeah, by the point you're done watching it, you don't even
You
want to go
don't
to
care.
the website.
You don't care
You're like, I
because
already
the movie
wasted
at
enough
that point was
time.
terrible. So I remember when we watched it, I didn't bother. It was like years later when I actually looked up what the ending was.
I said, was that your way to try to bait people for a sequel that we can try to uncover this mystery? Or is this like a way of trying some new marketing scheme?
Yeah, they were trying a new idea out, and it didn't work. I mean, it worked. They made money on it, but they didn't do it again.
We're going to some honorable mentions. This one was one that we talked about a little bit earlier. Critics said it comes off like the filmmaker had no idea what kind of story he wanted to create around his capable cast. It is they/them. Put it on by the mountain.
All right, first of all, I mean, there's no suspense in this entire movie. Like,
this movie had, and I'm not even, it's not hyperbolic. This had one of the cringiest scenes in movie
Oh my
history.
god, I completely forgot about that when they sang Pink. Oh, no.
when they broke onto oh, dude, I wanted to.
In a horror movie, too. Like, in a horror movie.
Unless you're a musical, if your characters start breaking out in song, I don't like it.
So let's get into our next honorable mention. Somebody said it's very, 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 very stupid.
How stupid?
It was voted on by Max. Jason Goes to Hell.
I will rewatch any other Friday the 13th movie but this one. It's just, they blow him up in the beginning of the movie, and then he, like, this guy who works at a morgue has his heart, and then he starts eating the heart, and then he becomes like Jason, and then Jason keeps going from person to person, and that's not what I want to see in a Friday the 13th movie. I want to see Jason with the damn hockey mask killing people, not all these other people. I would have watched another movie if I wanted to see that. So Jason blows up in the beginning, and then you get him at the near the very end, but it's still not that long. And I just hate the idea of this Jason being like this little, was it like a worm thing or whatever?
I think he's a worm, dude. He's a worm.
I'm just like, it's a simple premise. It's simple enough. This guy who was thought to be dead grew up, and now he's this unstoppable killer at a campsite. Let's just keep it over there, huh?
They were running low on ideas. You know, they had to think of something fast.
You know it's bad when they jump the shark and take him to space. That movie is better than this.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to the next honorable mention. Reason still unknown, this director chose to write the dialogue this stiffly and instructed his performers to act like they've never said words or interacted with each other before.
Damn.
What would be the worst horror films list without a mention? This director, voted solely on by Vitamin J, it is The Happening, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. I feel we just have to address it.
That movie doesn't even register as a horror.
Wow, I was so frustrated watching this movie.
What? No.
The dialogue is so bad, Jacob. I actually like it. And I said, I'm like, this is great. I had a good time watching this movie.
It has crossed into so bad it's good, but I put on there just my initial frustration in the years following watching that movie. I was so irritated.
No one's buying Mark Wahlberg as a science teacher. Let's just get that out the way. No one's buying that.
There's a compilation of Mark Wahlberg in this movie doing his face like he is the most confused man on the planet because it's like a multi-minute clip of this dude doing that. He's like, let me just think. Everyone shut up, let me think.
There's also a bunch of memes of him from this, about that confused face he has in this.
I think M. Night Shyamalan tried to say he purposely tried to make it like a B movie type film. Like, no.
Liar.
You say that after the movie sucked.
Yeah.
No, he says that because after Avatar: The Last Airbender came out, he said people don't like his movies because Americans don't. I was going for a European style, which is slower paced and just different. That's why people didn't like it. I was like, no, the movie sucked. That's why we didn't like it. Stop making excuses. You did a crap job.
For The Last Airbender, I was like, it's an American-made cartoon. How do you make it in that style?
But yeah, had to put it on there.
So this next one is going to be another honorable mention. There's a lot of screaming and blood and kids giggling while clutching rusty farm equipment, but it leads to nothing. This one was voted on solely by D3. Personally, I think this whole series, this is one that I've seen multiple of these. I think this whole series sucks. All right, so to choose one, I think, is a little hard. Granted, I didn't see this one, but I've watched multiple. It is the horrible series, Children of the Corn.
Yeah, you can put this whole series in a bin.
I put the newest one in.
Yeah.
The newest one, they had like all the adults dig a ditch. And I said, first of all, I was like, how are these adults not overpowering you kids? I don't see y'all with weapons.
Yeah, that was one thing we watched it. Like those parents gave up mighty easily.
They did. They had no fight in them.
Yeah,
I
there
tell
was
you.
absolutely
When they
no
were
fight.
getting-
They even tried to fight, really, when they
No.
got married. They're like, oh my
There's no
God.
fight in these parents. No fight.
Well, I think for some of that they drugged them to get them there for that
Some of
part.
them.
But just the whole time, like y'all didn't take as much of a stand.
I'm sorry. How easy is it to knock out a 10-year-old? I'm sorry. It's pretty
Yeah,
easy
I
to knock
just couldn't
out.
put it on because I was like, man, I don't. There's none of them that I will say are good.
It just irritated me with the lack of fight with these parents. Cause like at least in the first one, the kids had like weapons. Okay, had a machete, and if you swing a machete at any force, it could kill someone. At least I can kind of buy that. But this one, I didn't see any weapons. These parents are just pushovers.
And the CGI. Remember when they showed the monster?
Oh my
Oh,
God!
terrible CGI.
That was a treat, honestly.
Remember that one scene where like they were teasing like this person's gonna fall off,
Yeah.
and this scene goes on for like I would say 5 minutes, and the boy he
Wow.
doesn't fall.
There was
He
no
doesn't fall.
payoff.
I think that's one we knew collectively because I think that was relatively early or
It's
middle of the
early.
movie. But like, yeah, like this movie's not gonna be any good.
I mean, you should have known the second.
Oh
you
no,
heard
we had to,
China.
yeah, we had to
that
get
should have been the first time.
But we knew for
Our
sure.
expectations for the movie they were tempered.
It's a great concept that because
Yeah.
kids can be very spooky. All right, we're gonna go back to our list. We're gonna go into our number 2. The characters are grossly incompetent. In addition to being vapid and devoid of common sense, they each deserve what they get because each death meant the film was closer to ending. Dang. Yeah, some of these critics can be some.
All these reviews are clever.
So
Oh,
clearly
thank
that
God.
critic didn't like it. And most people seem to have agreed. Well, a lot of critics agreed because this only had an 8% tomato score. The audience mostly agreed because it had a 23%. It is the 2017 masterpiece, Rings.
Bro,
Oh my God, dude! From the jump,
it doesn't follow the rules.
Again, the rules are established. If you watch the video, you have 7 days. So the people that are supposed to die, they're on a plane. They're supposed to die. But yet, all of a sudden,
and only them.
and also like everyone's screen starts and the video comes on. I was like, well, all the rest of the people on the plane now get 7 days, but no, they
Yeah.
get 0 days.
They just crash or whatever.
Why do we have rules if we're just gonna break them?
Yep.
I want you guys to shut up about the rules.
And look, had high hopes for this movie because I love the Rings franchise and Ringu. I'll watch any of them. I love the concept of the ring. I think it's so fascinating as a horror movie. So I was really looking forward to this, and then for it to be this terrible was really disappointing. It really was.
So the rules and their code is dropped at the first sign of trouble.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And then, like I said, it's this point where Johnny, or what's his name, Johnny Galecki, whatever, is a college
Johnny
professor,
Galecki.
and then the main character has to find the professor at like his office, and his office somehow it's like a club. Or like his study
Yeah,
area was like a
it's really-
club. It's like a DJ and shit. There's like strobe lights.
I was like, what?
I was like, they're supposed to be at a university, right?
Well, and he essentially started a cult.
That's what.
Yeah. So they were like, what? Someone would watch it, and then they would show it to someone at the last day, just to kind of keep the chain going. So they were testing something with it. I can't remember exactly off my head. You know.
And again, if you didn't get someone to watch it, then you die. Again, I was like, well, that's just so stupid. If you know it kills people, why are you gonna watch it? Like, it's established that everybody knows if you watch this video, you're gonna die in 7 days unless you make someone else watch it.
All these college kids know that there's a lot of people in this loft that they have, or whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of people there. So, like, how does this not like a more well-known thing? How does everybody not know about the video? You know, at this point, because college kids ain't gonna keep it secret. They found this supernatural thing, and they're not gonna tell nobody about it. I don't think so.
But eventually, you see Vincent D'Onofrio. He's supposed to be like, what, Samara's dad?
That whole deal was so dumb too, because and Vincent D'Onofrio, I believe, was blind because that way he couldn't see her.
Yeah.
And then eventually she like restores his vision so that way he can see her and kill him. CGI looked rough, and like the first one came out in 2002 for the American version, and it looked a ton better.
Again, Phil, like I said, when you abandon the premise that early in the film, what's the point of me watching the rest of it? Because then you can just willy-nilly with everything.
When we watched it, we like, dude, what? Like that wasn't like she can't do that, right? That's not she can't do that.
No, she didn't kill
That's
you
against the
day-
rules.
If she could kill you in day 0, what's the point of the 7-day timeline?
Exactly. What are we doing here?
There's no more rules.
I'm like, you made the rules. You made them.
Yeah.
It's like, who's to say that now? Like, if you were to make someone else watch, she could still kill you all of a sudden. You know, she's like, I'm just bending the
I
rules.
didn't even like the setup.
You don't even have to watch it, apparently. You can just do whatever. Screw it.
Yeah.
The guy who's like, what if someone's in the bathroom, never saw the video, and he's dead? Like, really? That defeats the whole purpose.
They set up for a sequel too for this one because she took control with the main character at the end. She actually
that's right.
succeeded in her evil plan. So they were clearly setting up for like Samara is now in the real world kind of thing, but that's not going to happen.
Which that does happen in the books.
And like the movie ends with like the video going viral. So I'm like, so does everyone die on Saturday and start watching now, or they just like just show a friend now? You just had to make a copy of it to then to show someone else.
See, Samara started when those videotapes were popular. Now we got internet. Now we need her to update her rule book. Is what we need.
YouTube. No.
Did. She said, I don't have to wait 7 days. I can kill you whenever.
Well, can we get that in writing at least? I just want that formally announced.
But it's like, but then like for some characters she wasted 7 days, but the other she's like, yeah, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
On to our last movie. They all pretty much know what it is because they have complained about this movie many times to me. I've heard many stories. One critic did say it's a thriller baked in history and nostalgia, standing on its own 2 feet. Yes, that is not the feeling that's coming from these people. But
Who's that critic? Because they need to lose their damn job.
But another person says, bad guy kills people, bad guy's killed. How can you mess it up? This movie is finding complicated ways to fail at the simple, elegant, beloved formula. This movie came in with a Rotten Tomato score of 40%, a 57% audience score, so more than half the people who watched it liked it that voted on here, and 40% of the critics actually liked it. This movie was one of the recent ones. It is from a beloved franchise. It is the ending of this beloved franchise. It is Halloween Ends. And boy, did you guys wish this movie ended sooner.
Oh, God, yeah. I told y'all how bad it was, and like 20 minutes in, y'all didn't believe me.
It starts off pretty good.
So we have many issues with this movie. So this is the end of the trilogy. And the first part of this trilogy was great. The second one was meh. So I was like, maybe the third movie they can kind of correct it, right? But then they start the third movie off introducing a new main character that was not in any of the first 2 movies, and it's just going to be in this last movie. Why would you do that? And he's the main character in this movie. That makes no sense. And then they are going with this thing of like, oh, he might become the new Michael Myers, might being him, and then they don't go with that. None of this movie makes sense. And let's not even talk about the scene where he punks Michael Myers in the sewer and takes his mask.
Oh, that just pissed me off. That pissed off everyone. Who, as a fan of Halloween, wants to see that?
Yeah, the whole point is you want to see Mike Myers.
And we also established at the end of the last movie that this Michael Myers can take an ungodly amount of punishment, and he's super strong. And then in this next movie, he's a frail man who gets beat up by a teenager who weighs 150 pounds.
Yeah, there's no way he survived that beating without it being supernatural.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. And then now he's in the sewer, just resting. And then the guy they've already established was getting bullied by freaking band geeks.
Band geeks.
And then he beats up Michael Myers. What the hell?
And can we talk about how bad the dialogue is in this movie?
Oh my god, dude.
I'm not afraid of these people. I'm not afraid anymore. You told me that you want to burn it down. Or you tell me you want to burn it. Hey!
Just burn it all to the ground.
I like the match.
Jamie Lee Curtis's dialogue was really bad.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis talking about fucking all that. I'm like, no.
Bro, that was really cringe.
The scene with the guy and the boyfriend girlfriend at the diner, when she's like, "I want to watch the town burn."
The granddaughter easily chose the new boyfriend over Laurie Strode. I'm like, dang, family means nothing.
Like a day or 2, right?
Yeah, it was like a week maybe at best. Love him.
And my issue is the advertisement set it up as a final showdown between Laurie and Michael. Then the director said, "Oh, that was never my intention to have a final showdown between." Then you failed.
Yeah.
Michael Myers, what did he kill? 2 people in this movie? He didn't even have the best kills in the movie.
The best kills of this movie were wasted.
Yes.
Yep.
He technically killed the guy, the guy that took his mask, but it was more so the finishing blow.
Yeah, the best kills being from the other guy. Like, yes, they were good kills, but like they mean nothing
it
to me
feels
because
wasted.
I want Michael to do it.
Yeah, it
Michael
feels
should have done it.
If you're gonna set him up to be the next Michael, then why do you kill him off in the?
Yeah, it made no sense.
Jacob, that kid is fake Razor. That's what it is. I want to see the real
that's
one.
fake
Damn it.
Razor. Yeah, you want the main event. I want the main event, not this cheap imitation. That's the renegade fake Razor.
They sort of set up as like, I guess Michael did have some power. He's transferring his essence into this person, but like I said, this is the first movie he was introduced in. This is the end of the trilogy.
Look,
this is not the time to be doing that.
Then
Not
remember
the
at
time.
the end, I think they bring that back up, and they're like, "No, he's just a person." Then that's the end of that. But I mean, there is a final showdown between Laurie and Michael, but Michael is easily.
It's supposed to be the whole movie. It's supposed to be a final showdown between the two.
It's supposed
and
to be
not.
Mike Myers laying waste to the town. That's what it's supposed to be.
But as at the end of Halloween Kills, she kills Pam Grier's character, and that's like barely even touched upon in this movie. Like they don't give a shit. There's so many bad things in it. It's like Jacob saying the town hates Laurie Strode. Like they're blaming her for this dude killing people. Like he made her do it. Like she made him do it.
Like someone say, "Oh, maybe they antagonize him." Like when did she antagonize him? The first movie is the podcast people.
Yeah, they're full on victim blaming.
It's not like it's her fault. Also, Michael came out of this.
And one of the ladies that was blaming her, no way she survived that for this because she was in the second movie. There's no way she survived that.
You know, it started off hot with the first one, this trilogy, and then it got progressively worse.
There was so much hype for it. This is Jamie Lee Curtis's final time playing Laurie Strode. Let's send her off with a good movie. No. You said the director said this wasn't his intention to have a showdown. Then you're not the right man for the job. Bye-bye.
This guy is directing the new Exorcist movie, and I really hope he doesn't kill that franchise too.
But we will see when that movie comes out. All right, so that is our list. Do you agree with our list? Did you not? Were there some movies that you thought we missed, or were there some movies we put on there that you think, hey, I actually like that movie? I can't believe you said that. Let us know on the comments below. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for the comments and the views. Keep viewing our channel. Help us with the algorithm. Tell your friends, share, subscribe, all that good things. My name's Legacy.
And I'm Max.
I'm Bobby.
And Hunter.
All right, and may the discussion begin.